On July 18th, the Alexia revolt started. With no major resistance, Alexipol was captured, followed by Alexia. The protectorate of Alexia was panicking. They sent Heliosgrad and Haitian combined garrison forces, which defeated the Alexian rebels in Pandiv. The Alexians could not stand it and revolted behind the lines, forcing the garrisons to retreat. A combined force of the 16th Alexia's army group was sent to help. They broke through and united with the partisans. The last major holdout was in Ansiv, but it fell after a week. Pandy, with this victory, sent a peace deal to the Holy Stephanian Doremian Empire. They would have to make Constantinople a holy city and allow Ketchup, the highest scholar, to reside there. Stefan agreed, but Messerich and Blaug, furious, kicked Pandy out of the Axis. Messerich, seeing the Pandian betrayal, sent a peace treaty where both nations would end the war with no territorial changes. Messerich's troops from Aprakotia were disbanded and rerouted. Some went back to farms, while others returned to ghost factories, improving the economy. Moskin's catenators were sent back to the Banana Balkans. On January 11th, 1165, Messerich planned a daring, last-ditch effort, Operation Destroy the Banana. Skilled pilots were chosen for this task, and the planes departed from Moskinator at dawn. Planes filled with fuel flew to the port of Maniotis, where a big chunk of Hayes's navy was stationed. At night, the Masarian planes flew in and hit SMS Maniot, rendering it powerless. Hundreds of sailors found themselves stuck, not thinking the enemy would do such a risky attack. Within 10 minutes, they sunk the ship, killing 846 sailors. The pride of the Banana Navy was sunk. Then, at evening, a second round of Masarian planes came, this time at SMS Banana Noble. The ship exploded violently, killing all of the crew. 315 sailors died. The explosion sent debris all over the city, waking everyone up. A famous Banana Republic photographer took a photo showing SMS Banana Noble sinking. After that, the soldiers were alerted, and at morning, the last wave came in, this time going for SMS Grow a Banana, where Field Marshal Kesari was sleeping. 3 planes hit the ship, causing it to catch on fire. Since the crew was already alerted, they grounded the ship onto the coastline, preventing the loss of Field Marshal Kesari. Their mission success elevated them to hero status, with Masarian propaganda glorifying their achievement and solidifying the strategy as a great tool against the Entente Navy. This triumph allowed for the expansion of the airplane fleet. Both sides of the Banana War wanted the conflict to end. A peace treaty was agreed, and a lot of rules were introduced. Some of the generals who did not want the war to end went off on their own and fired some shells at Messerich, and then came back and said, "Whoops, it looks like we're at war now." And they started fighting again. The Pandians sent peace treaties to the Banana Republic and Heliosgrad. No land exchanges, just be a banana. Barrier, wanting to secure boy love with Eric Tata, peaced out with Messerich. Messerich appointed a new economic minister called Siren Head. He was big, scary, and evil. Both sides knew the front was not going to move, so Pandia sent spies disguised as Aprakotian soldiers to provoke the Holy Stephanian Doremian Empire. But the Aprakotian soldiers intercepted the plan, showed it to Stefan, and that was the final straw. Holy Stephanian Doremian troops began volunteering to Aprakotia, and they knew their only hope now is to force Aprakotia to surrender before the fresh Stephanian troops arrived. It was now or never. So they started one final attack. They converged their troops and hit hard at the Apracotan and pushed the Apracotians back. They hit a second time for the south, then again and again. With each hit, the Pandians were spending more and more resources, while the Apracotians were getting better and better at repelling their attacks. By the fifth punch, the Apracotians held the line and even pushed back. With Stephanian troops now arriving in larger numbers, the Apracotians launched a counterattack. Both sides exhausted from war met in Constantinople to negotiate a peace deal. Firstly, the new border would be moved to the city of Aprakensa. The city of Tuho was returned to Apracot, and to ensure no more escalations, both Stephanian and Heliosgrad soldiers would be stationed on the border as peacekeepers. 4 people met in Banana Opal: Bosun, Helios, Caesari, and Hayes. They agreed on expanding Bossanism to other places, such as the Middle East and the Urals. Both Heliosgrad and the Banana Republic succeeded. Heliosgrad formed the Kingdom of Miyako, led by Pasha, the former commander of the elite cavalry. With Heliosgrad's help, he formed his own nation and expanded rapidly, conquering local tribes. The Banana Republic expanded into the Levant, conquering large amounts of land. The locals resisted, and Hayes blamed them for the loss in the Banana Wars, killing as many as 1.5 million. People from Mesoreich arrived in northern Africa, in the Tunis region, to explore and trade with local tribes. They pillaged and sacked the tribes because of religious and cultural differences. A tribal council was formed, and the tribes united into a single Sahurism state. Caliph Ashir was elected the first caliph because of his strong will, his defense of the tribes with his band of soldiers, and his role in local politics. The Ashariya Caliphate was created. The Masarians sent spies into local tribes in the Alps to try to convince the local tribes there to rise up in Kukyu against the Stephanians and attack Doremia. But that plan failed, partly because the spies got bored, brewed their own alcohol, got drunk, and formed their own nation called the Alpine Federation. Pandia was a country ruled by generals, Pandians, and above all the god Constantinius. Among its most powerful figures was the Merlinian family, who had deep ties to leaders such as Ants and Ketchup, and played a major role in the Banana Wars by owning a vast number of factories in the north. With this level of power, the Merlinians grew increasingly uneasy with Pandia's political direction as the government began cracking down on corruption. Fearing they would be targeted next, they fled the country, taking large portions of the gold reserves with them. Using this gold, they funded disgruntled veterans who distrusted the government, sparking revolts in key areas such as Antia and Panvia. These uprisings were quickly crushed. The Merlinian family eventually settled in Sweden, and to secure sovereignty, they paid the Masarians, while Mirl married the dictator, Messer. The new nation was officially proclaimed on March 9, 1166. On the morning of April 13th, the Heliosgrad convoys, bound for the Bloggian Empire and carrying grain, were escorted by KMS Dogisus. The ship spotted what appeared to be a naval battle in the northeast, but Wagner assumed it was merely Bahrian naval exercises and continued on course. Before the situation could be fully understood, a Bahrian airplane struck one of the convoys. Admiral Wagner immediately issued the order to prepare an attack. From the east, a Bahrian naval detachment appeared consisting of 2 light cruisers, TCG Spy and TCG Ruya, both outdated. Wagner, seeing more aircraft approaching from the rear, fired warning shots toward the ships. They responded by sinking 2 more convoys and hitting the bow of KMS Dogissus. Dogissus returned fire with its 8-inch guns, striking TCG Spy and exploding its stern, disabling its rear turrets. A second wave of shelling followed, detonating the ammunition storage and causing a violent explosion. The ship sank within an hour. The second cruiser, TCG Ruya, retreated to the northeast to rejoin the engagement. The Blodgett scientists, seeing how effective planes were in countering ships, created a new invention, the aircraft carrier, a warship capable of carrying and launching aircraft. On November 21st, 1165, the Blodgett Navy, traveling to a convention in Masseria, encountered trouble. From the east, TCG Bahrier launched 2 torpedoes at IJN Bonifin, the first striking the stern and causing chaos aboard the ship. A second torpedo then hit the bridge, igniting ammunition stores and sinking the vessel, killing 156 sailors. Naval Commander Kruger, commanding IJN Frog Vaporizer, the newly built aircraft carrier equipped with 15 planes, immediately responded. He launched 6 aircraft to engage the enemy fleet. The first plane struck TCG Ruya in the bow, slowing it and turning it into an easy target. A second aircraft hit its bridge, causing a violent explosion that killed 156 soldiers and destroyed the ship. The pride of the fleet, TCG Bahrier, then became the main target. Outdated and lacking anti-aircraft guns, the ship attempted to flee but was helpless. The first plane hit the stern, slowing it down, while the second struck the rudder, permanently immobilizing it. Its fate was sealed. 1 plane missed, but 3 planes struck the stern, bow, and bridge in quick succession, causing the ship to sink almost instantly and killing 764 sailors.